Hi. Welcome and thank you for joining us. I don't know who planned this weather, but this is pretty brutal. So thank you all for fighting it with us. I'm Peter Mello. I'm the Managing Director and Co-CEO of WaterFire Providence, and I'm really excited to bring you some great, exciting, positive news today. First, I want to welcome our elected officials and VIP guests that are up here with me. Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos, Providence Mayor Jorge Alorza, City Council President John Igliozzi, and also Commerce Secretary Stephen Pryor, and Providence Tourism President Alex Garurian. The past 2 years have been incredibly challenging for our organization. Our operating revenue was gutted by the pandemic and is still yet fully to recover. We're still, even though we're going to announce today the season, we're still in a very active search for sponsors for this year. But we know our role is really to help support the hospitality and tourism economy. So we felt it was really important to get out here and announce our schedule, a pretty full schedule, early on. So if anybody is here and wants to sponsor WaterFire, Ed Cabral is right over here, Director of Corporate Sponsorship and Corporate Relations.
In the line. Which way?
Yeah.
This way? Just in case you missed me, bring your checkbooks and credit cards.
Yeah, or you can talk to me too. As we enter our 28th year, this is the first WaterFire lighting, since the first WaterFire lighting. We know the importance of coming back with a full schedule to support the hospitality and tourism economy. In normal pre-pandemic years, WaterFire draws tourists from all over the globe who spend their money here, sleeping in our hotels, eating in our restaurants, shopping in our stores, and buying admission tickets to other cultural amazing offerings throughout the state, including PPAC, Trinity, the Newport Mansions. And, you know, WaterFire, according to an independent economic survey done by a federal agency in 2012, WaterFire generates $114 million of economic impact each year from those activities I just mentioned. And that generates around $9.5 million of tax revenue and supports 1,294 jobs. So WaterFire is pretty important to the tourism economy. Equally important, it attracts millions of dollars of media value that present Providence and Rhode Island, helps strengthen their brands as a creative capital and the state for the arts, and helps to develop the location as a top international tourism destination. Throughout 2020, where we had no lightings whatsoever, in 2021, thanks to the support of Mayor Alorza and City Council President Igliozzi, as well as the Commerce Secretary Stephen Pryor and the PTC, we were able to put on an abbreviated season, and that was hugely successful, September 4th through December 4th, and we helped fill the hotel rooms. But throughout 2021, we really had to focus our resources, most of our resources and activities, on the WaterFire Arts Center. And we're proud to have continued to produce and present art, much of it partnering with the Wilbury Theater. And we never shut down. We had more than 300 live and in-person events with 0 transmissions of COVID among staff, performers, or audience members. We're pretty proud of that. We currently have an amazing exhibition curated by Barnaby Evans, my colleague, and we invite you to come and check it out. It closes on May 1st. It's called Planet Earth, the Environment, Our Future, an exhibition of art and science, looking at the beauty and fragility of our world. We're open every day till 5, and then Thursday and Fridays we're open till 9. Please do come and experience this show. It's important and it's beautiful. We have a lot of sponsors. I'm so cold, I apologize. I'm not going to list them all right now. We're going to hear from our speakers. And there we go, guys. Right now, let's hear what we're really here for, the 22 WaterFire season. Today, we're announcing 7 full lightings and 6 partial lightings. We actually had a partial lighting, a tremendous lighting on April 9th with the Gordon School. That was a great event. Tonight is another partial lighting, as well as we have our Strike the Match fundraiser. I hope if you haven't already bought a ticket, you join us at Skyline for after this press conference. It's warm in there, and there's probably some beverages that you might enjoy. We have a partial lighting on Friday, May 13th. We have a full lighting. Our first full of the season will be June 4th, the Saturday. Friday, June 10th, we have a partial. Saturday, June 25th, a full. Saturday, July 3rd, a full. And so it'll be our 7th Rhode Island Defeats Hepatitis C WaterFire. On August 13th, a Saturday, was a second annual Pepito Opportunity Connection BIPOC WaterFire, celebrating BIPOC art, culture, and business. On Saturday, August 27th, we have full WaterFire with our very popular and beautiful Clear Currents event, celebrating the return of aquatic life to the rivers that run through downtown Providence. On September 3rd, we have a Labor Day partial lighting. And September 24th, a full lighting. Our 7th annual WaterFire celebrates educational excellence with the Rhode Island Department of Education. On Saturday, November 5th, a full lighting, and that'll be our 10th WaterFire Salute to Veterans. And finally, on Saturday, December 3rd, we have a partial fire, which will be our 7th, celebrating the holidays. So that's a good start. And we're hopefully optimistic about securing additional funding and adding more events to that schedule. So I'd like to introduce you to our guest speakers this evening. First of all, Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos. Lieutenant Governor was our councilwoman when we had this dream about the WaterFire Arts Center. And that was be our first home in the community. It has become an anchor institution in the Valley-Onlyville district and one of the most unique art venues in all of New England. It has been transformational for our organization, and without her leadership and support, it would not have happened. So I want to invite Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos up here.
Thank you. Thank you all. I'm so glad that we're here to celebrate another announcement of another season of WaterFire. I want to bring greetings to you from Governor McKee, who would like to be here, but unfortunately had a conflict. But he wanted me to remind all of you that last year he promised that we were going to have music in Newport and that we were going to have WaterFire back in Providence, and we did. And that took a lot of work to make sure that we got our population vaccinated, over 80%. As reported by the New York Times, of individuals that have gotten the vaccine, and we are #1 in the nation, and we are the 3rd for the booster. That's the work that we have been doing to make sure that we're able to reopen our economy, we're able to enjoy WaterFire again, and also the impact that WaterFire has in the economy of the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island is unbelievable. Peter gave us some numbers, but I think it goes beyond that, because everywhere I go, when I travel, I'm being asked, what about that thing that you guys do, water and in the river, the WaterFire? Everyone knows about WaterFire, and it's so great to be able to say, yes, we have WaterFire back in Providence this summer. So I want to thank WaterFire for the work that you do to make it possible. I want to thank Mayor Lorsa, who I work with very close, him and his planning department, Bonnie Nickerson. I remember that first meeting that we had with Barnaby to go and see that building that became the WaterFire Arts Center. The partnership that we had made it possible. The support from my colleagues in the City Council, Chairman Igliosi, Councilman Narducci, that at that time was the chairman of the other committee that made it possible. So we know the importance that WaterFire has for the economy of the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island, and we're proud to support the work. And especially now, having the Commerce Secretary Stephen Pryor making sure that we bring programs and economic development programs to the state of Rhode Island that help us take it outside and help us reopen our economy and help our tourism industry. So I'm so honored to have this opportunity to serve the state of Rhode Island in this role. And I'm the biggest promoter of Rhode Island. Actually, I'm doing one of the videos that says Promote Rhode Island. I'm going to put a plug right here, right now. If you have any association or your family reunion, call us, because we have a team of professionals going to make them come to Rhode Island. Okay? So thank you so much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Providence Mayor Jorge Alorza has been an amazing champion and supporter of WaterFire over the years. I thank you for coming to our recent volunteer appreciation party, handing out citations and awards to volunteers. It means a lot to them and to us for you to be part of that event. It's great to work with your awesome team at Arts, Culture, and Tourism, and Lizzie now in charge over there. She's and Stephanie before. It's just it's so great to be able to work with that team. So thank you, and without further ado.
Good evening, everybody. I am going to keep this short because it is cold out here. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Barnaby, for not just bringing WaterFire, but sustaining WaterFire over time. This scratches so many itches. On the one hand, our small business community needs this. You know that so many of our local restaurants, our bars, our small businesses in and around downtown, they rely on those WaterFire nights because it brings in the customers and they rely on it to make ends meet. So thank you so much for that. I also, as I've come to know and learn the organization, I know that WaterFire has would not be able to survive without all of its stakeholders and supporters. You all are a big part of that, so thank you for supporting WaterFire tonight and always. But I also know that another group that sustains WaterFire are all the volunteers. WaterFire relies on volunteers. And, you know, I have a great appreciation for all of them, but if I could just embarrass him for just a second, I want to give a shout out to my friend Bill Vollmer. Always great to be here with you, Bill. One of my favorite people in the city of Providence. So thank you all for supporting WaterFire. Thank you to all of my colleagues in government for believing in the arts and for helping to bring us together. That's what WaterFire does every single summer. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And I have an official city citation that I want to present to Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last year, we were really in a tight spot, and thanks to the support and leadership of the council president, Mr. Igliozzi, we received some American Rescue Plan funding that really, without which we wouldn't be here talking to you today. So we appreciate everything you did for us last year, and we're looking forward to working with you again this year and having a great season.
Well, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing out here? Huh? We're nice and warm, right? No, we want the fires ablaze, don't we, right? So I'm actually very lucky, by the way, because I do remember the first night. I think it was 1994 was the first one. And unfortunately, I was there way back when, not as a councilman, but as simply a citizen of Providence. And I was so proud to see the beginning of that process. And I got to tell you something, it is amazing what it does and the experience. And I know the folks that have done it, you know, you come back. The folks that haven't experienced, you know, it's really something. Like people go to the movies to try to get that kind of experience or read a book. You come here to a WaterFire, it is such a wonderful communal experience. Walking, talking, listen to the music, the fire. It really gives you a great sense of community and brings out the best of us as humans and humanity. It makes you really feel good to be here in this great country, in this great city at that night. It really does. I also want to mention that you gotta give thanks and the big shout out to Barnaby. Where's Barnaby? He gets it all the time. You gotta do it, right? I mean, you think about the whole thing and the whole concept. I mean, to have that artistic thinking to say, put this together, I don't know. And I'm not an artist. I'm just someone who helps fund them. If I can help you, I will. But to have that type of background and knowledge and take a chance and present the idea to a city who needed new ideas, a new venture. and the city embraced it, and they embraced it for 28 years, right? My goodness gracious. And I know on my job, during my time as a council person, we have funded WaterFire throughout the years, and it's been a pleasure and honor to do that. And I also want to echo the mayor's right. We need sponsors, we need people to join in, help out, and especially more volunteers. And it is impressive. The people in black, stocking the wood, cutting the wood, rowing the boats, whatever they do out in that water. But thank you, by the way. It's fantastic. So I want to let you know on behalf of the City Council, my colleagues, of course, by the way, thanking the Mayor, Lieutenant Governor Sabinos, Matos, Stephen Pryor, our Secretary, all these folks together make it happen, and all of you make it worthwhile that we do this for all of us. So I want to thank you all once again for coming. I also have a quick proclamation. I'm not going to open up. I'm just going to hand it to him. It's cold. Thank you. It says WaterFire instead. I'm going to do the photo op. Ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, everybody get it? All right, let's go. Let's light these fires. Come on.
I like that. I like that energy. Thank you. Thank you, Council President. Another amazing champion of WaterFire has been Commerce Secretary Stephen Pryor. Without Commerce Rhode Island programs last year, well, in both 2020 and 2021, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you for your really strong leadership, support, and encouragement. It was really helpful as we navigated one of the most challenging times in our organization's history, and have you on board has been great.
Thank you, Peter. Really appreciate it. We at the state under Governor McKee and Lieutenant Governor Matos were so proud to tag team with Council President Igliozzi and with Mayor Alorza. We were proud to tag team to bring WaterFire back last year. As the pandemic winds down, it's not over, and as it hopefully does in fact diminish, and we increasingly return to our lives, we need to bring back commerce. We need to ensure that we have the quality of life, the vibrancy, the excitement, the entertainment, the community activity that define us, and WaterFire is right at the center of that. I want to echo thanks for Barnaby for the incredible vision, and Peter for working with Barnaby to implement. Rhode Island's on a roll. We are by no means done with the pandemic, and we are by no means out of the economic woods, but we are on a roll. We are leading the Northeast in our economic recovery for once. We, according to Moody's, are the #1 state for economic strength coming out of this downturn. We have the unemployment rate that's now 3.4%, which is better than that of our neighbors. We are showing economic strength. And ladies and gentlemen, in March, just last month, we exceeded the hotel occupancy levels that we had in March of 2019 pre-pandemic. We actually exceeded that baseline level. We're doing better on hotel revenues than in 2019. We've restored 91% of leisure and hospitality jobs lost during the early months of the pandemic. That's with levels above our neighboring states, Connecticut and Massachusetts. On that Moody's list of states, they're way at the bottom. Massachusetts and New York, 43rd and 50th in the country. We're in the top 10 in the whole country for our economic recovery, and #1 in the Northeast. And ladies and gentlemen, we can't rest on those laurels. We have to keep investing in activities that bring vibrancy and bring the economy back, like WaterFire. And that's why we're here today. We're excited for the 7 and the 6 lightings, the full and the basin, that are going to result from what we're announcing today. And we've got more to come. So Lieutenant Governor and the entire McKee-Matos administration, thank you so much. Anika Kimball-Huntley, thank you for continuing to promote tourism. Let's make sure we light these fires for many years to come.
Thank you, Commerce Secretary Pryor. Providence Tourism Council has been an amazing partner for many, many, many years. And they really stepped up in 2021 and in 2020 and gave us a grant during some of the most challenging times for us, and it was a catalyst for other funding. And they've made a significant investment again this year. The most difficult part of my night is right now, because I'm going to try to pronounce his name correctly, but Alex Goryarin.
Thank you. Yes, the pronunciation is difficult. I appreciate that. But it's a pleasure to be here as Chair and Commissioner of the Providence Tourism Council. I lead a wonderful board of hospitality leaders and GMs to our hotels and businesses, and we have some of our board members here today, Rick Simone and Scott Williams, so thank you. You know, I have the pleasure to lead this organization and the impact that we provide with WaterFire financially, as Peter mentioned, through our grant program, but also through our public relation efforts. And make no mistake that WaterFire and Providence's economic success is intertwined, and obviously we've talked a lot about that economic impact and the jobs that we fill and the hotels that we fill as well. And so, you know, we are truly excited at the Tourism Council for this upcoming WaterFire season, as it activates our community in new ways, but it also contributes to the illumination of our waterways. And this ties nicely with the Providence Tourism Council's Illuminate PVD initiative, where we work to illuminate our city both through public and private spaces, buildings, bridges, parks, and our streets. So WaterFire is a creative catalyst that not only attracts visitors near and far, but also reignites our artistic community for the beauty, energy, and hopeful spirit that it brings to our incredible city. So I applaud the efforts of WaterFire and all of its volunteers and everyone involved in driving its seasonal return, and we look forward to working with all involved to ensure its success. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Alex. It's my pleasure right now to introduce you to our new chair of the board of directors, Charles Newton. Charles has been an awesome advocate for WaterFire for many years. A couple of years ago, he joined our board and has been an important volunteer leader and an important and also very generous, along with Linda, supporter of WaterFire. In March, Charles was elected to be the chair of the board of directors, and we're all excited to be working with him to make WaterFire stronger and more impactful for the community for the long term. So,
for those of you who don't know me, I can speak for like 2 or 3 hours at a time. However, today, all I really wanted to do is bring greetings from the board of WaterFire. And I want you to understand that the success of WaterFire is based on a public-private partnership, and is driven by volunteers and a tremendous cadre of employees that we have. But more importantly, I need you to bring all of your friends to WaterFire so they can share in the tremendous experience that you'll be seeing tonight. And with that, thank you very much.
wow. Thank you, Charles. Last, but certainly not least, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce WaterFire's creator, executive artistic director, co-leader with me, co-CEO with me, and my friend, Barnaby Evans.
Yeah, it's freezing. Thank you, Peter. And I really want to thank all of you for your very gracious words. I'm just going to add just a few perspectives. Council President and I were just talking about when we first lit WaterFire, none of these buildings were here. Not that one, 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 not this one, not this one. That one was actually under construction. It's pretty extraordinary. When we first moved the river, we meaning the city, the question was, how do you prime the pump? Because I remember the mall developers were saying there was a big concern about whether people would come to a mall in the city, would they go through a parking structure. So WaterFire was sort of that opportunity when I watched this heroic effort to create these parks and say, somebody's, we got to figure out how to get people here. We want to make people proud of Providence. We want to make it a city that people talk about because this is a city with a storied history. You know, I came here from the West Coast. I was just astonished at the history. You know, from the Gatsby going forward to steam engines, and we really wanted to recapture that. And I remember the Wall Street Journal wrote that article that we were a stain by the fast lane to Cape Cod. No, we're not. We are a really important city. And my main first goal was to try to create an artwork that would bring people here, but also one that everyone would feel welcome in, that everyone would feel pride in, and they would be proud of their city. And all I can say is thank you for the thousands and thousands of people, millions if we include everyone who attends, who've made this dream possible for 27 years. It's just absolutely extraordinary. And thanking all of you from the City Council, from the Mayor, from our boards, government, Commissar, PTC, we've been way back, Providence Tourism Council. So thank you to the volunteers, my staff, Peter and I we're both really proud of the building that do come see the exhibition. It's up till Sunday. So just a great big thank you to everyone. And it's too darn cold out here, so let's get those fires lit.